Well, howdy, partner. Welcome back, and thanks for taking time out of your day to watch Hello Good Game. Jeskai Walkers. Jeskai. People insist that I say it wrong on purpose. I assure you, I don't. Bad habits just die really, really hard. Jeskai. 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 Not Jeskai. Come on, HGG. We've got a Planeswalkers build for you guys today. Some really new and interesting cards. Really new cards. They're so new they're not even out yet. You may have seen them floating around being talked about, but we've actually got them incorporated within some pretty nasty decks for you guys within the last little week and a bit here. Every day we've got a top mythic deck for you guys in standard best of one, and then we also have some theory crafting for Strixhaven happening, kind of mixing it up, and I've been really enjoying myself, and I know a lot of you guys have as well with the positive feedback I've been receiving, so I wanted to stick with it, keep pumping them out. And this is a white, blue, and red deck focused around the mighty Planeswalkers, and we've got a couple new ones in the deck to take a look at within Strixhaven. So let's get into it without further ado. And of course, if you do find any value within the video, it's as easy as dropping a thumbs up right down below, right now. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. If you guys don't do it, I'm gonna become more and more cringe until you do. So just let's end this right now. Like the video. Okay, so Jeskai Walkers, $336 dues if you're buying it in paper. Woof! How do you guys afford this game? I buy every single card within the set on my account for that much. Not just one deck, all of them. I can't believe it. Absolutely insane. So if you are a paper purchaser, some Bitcoin billionaire, of course we are sponsored by TCG. You can buy all the cards through me, and we might even get a little bit of a kickback, which is cool. But there's very few of you who do that because, I mean, look at that price tag. When we have such a cool discount within Arena, it's hard to justify, especially now with COVID. There's no paper tournaments. Yeah, I love opening packs too, but at a certain point. Anyways, we're rambling. The deck starts out with a single copy of Disdainful Stroke, instant speed for 2, counter target spell with converted mana 4 or greater. This takes care of everything that you typically would find annoying. Everything that's worth your time is 4 mana or greater. This will deal with it. We have 2 copies of Walrus Disruption, counter target spell unless its controller pays 1 at instant speed. This is also a land as the MDFC coming in tapped if we want. 3 copies of Test of Talents at instant speed for 2. Now, this is something that I think is going to become a staple mark in many decks. Counter target instant or sorcery spell, its controllers, search its controller's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of the cards with the same name, then exile them. Woo! That player shuffles, then draws a card for each card exiled this way from their hand. So if they only have 1 copy of it in their hand, you grab it with this, counter an Emergent Ultimatum for 2 mana at instant speed, right? Copy it, plus you empty it from the rest of their deck so they're not drawn anymore. Oh, yeah! I love it. So this is going to get played all over the place. You know how terrible Extinction Event is? Well, it's not anymore. You just counter the first one, the rest are gone. Easy. So Test of Talents is absolutely amazing. It's going to be, played in the Rogue deck. Sadly, it's going to be played in mono blue. It's going to be played in Izzet. It's going to be played in Sultai. It's everywhere. So get ready to test your talents within Strixhaven. Without getting too jacked up, we've got 3 copies of the Bone Crusher. You all know this, a 4/3 whenever it's the target of a spell, 2 damage to that spell's controller. Stomp as the adventure spell for 2 mana at instant speed. Damage can't be prevented, 2 damage to any target, right? That's great. 3 copies of the Brazen Borrower as well. This is a 3/1 with flash and flying, can only block other flyers. Petty Theft for 2 mana at instant speed as the adventure to return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Mila, Crafty Companion for 3 mana. Legendary creature, Fox, 2 power, 3 toughness. Whenever an opponent attacks 1 or more Planeswalkers you control, put a loyalty counter on each Planeswalker you control. Whenever a permanent you control becomes a target of a spell or an ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. There is so much value here. I love it. On the opposing side, we have Luca, which we'll take a look at in a second, but it's not as important to the deck as Mila. Moving on, 2 copies of Prismari Command for 3 mana at instant speed. Choose 1, 2 damage to any target. Target player draws 2 cards, then discards 2 cards. Target player creates a treasure token or destroy target artifact. So there's a lot of options here, and we get to pick 2 of them. So that's very nice value and utility. 4 copies of Rowan, Scholar of Sparks for 3 mana. Instants and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast as the static or passive ability. +1, Rowan deals 1 damage to each opponent. If you've drawn 3 or more cards this turn, deal 3 damage to each opponent instead. -4, you get an emblem with whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, a 2. If you do, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. Woof, woof, woof. I love that. Of course, we do have Will on the opposing side, and we'll take a look at that at a second, or in a second as well. 4 copies of Narset of the Ancient Ways, 4 mana, 4 loyalty, +1, gain 2 life, add a Jeskai mana, blue, red, or white, spending it only to cast a non-creature spell. I get it, it's sad, but whatever. -2, draw a card, then you may discard a card. When you discard a non-land card this way, Narset will deal damage equal to that card's average or converted mana cost to target creature or planeswalker. That's great. Nice, easy removal. -6, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a non-creature spell. This emblem deals 2 damage to any target. Absolutely amazing. Similar kind of style as Rowan. And if we can combo those emblems together, we're going to be having just a grand old time. Moving on, we've got a single copy of Teferi, Master of Time, 4 mana, 3 loyalty, static ability to activate his loyalty abilities on any player's turn at instant speed. So you get to do it on your turn, and you get to do it on your opponent's turn. +1 to draw a card, then discard a card. -3, target creature you don't control phases out, so it's not going to interact at all until your next turn. -10, take 2 extra turns after this, and now that's the dream, isn't it? We have 4 copies of Doomscar for 5 mana, destroy all creatures, foretell for 3, so we can get a nice cost reduction there. 3 copies of Elspeth Conquers Death, Enchantment Saga for 5 mana, exiling target permanent and opponent controls with converted mana cost 3 or greater when it enters. Next up, non-creature spells our opponent casts cost 2 more to cast until their next turn. A little bit of taxation there. And finally, return target creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter if it is a creature, or a loyalty counter on it if it is a walker. This is amazing because Narset discards, Teferi discards, and we can also discard through the Prismari Command, and then bring those baddies back with Elspeth Conquers Death, which is amazing. We have a single copy of Wandering Archaic. Now this, I think, is my favorite card in the set. For 5 mana, a 4/4, whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, you may pay 2. If they don't, you may copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. Woof. So they basically have to pay 2 for everything, which is going to be just grand for us. A single copy of Shark Typhoon. I wish I could run more copies, and I'll find a way to put another in here one day. An enchantment, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. Cycle it for 2 mana plus X, and then whenever you cycle it, create an XX blue shark creature token also with flying. A single copy of Magma Opus for 8 mana, instant speed, 4 damage divided as we choose among any number of targets. Tap 2 target permanents, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token, and draw 2 cards. Talk about value. We can discard it for 2 mana to create a treasure token, which is quite nice. I love it because we can utilize it within Narset's -2. Discard it, deal 8 damage to creature or planeswalker, just nuke it, which is going to be great for us, similar to the Shark Typhoon. Right, so that's the deck. We've got the Snarls here as well. We've got some Vantresses and some Ardenvales. The Snarls within a combination of the Triomes will make the mana base very, very friendly, and any deck with a Triome Snarl mana base has a massive advantage. It's not even funny, and then a couple basic lands here as well. So that is the deck. Taking a look now at some of those cards that we miss as the MDFCs, we have the one and only Luca, another Planeswalker for 6 mana, 5 loyalty when he enters, +1. You may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. If a creature card was discarded this way, draw 2 cards instead. You know, we've got the Bone Crusher Giant, we've got the Brazen Borrower here, and we have Mila Crafty Companion. So that is a possibility, however, not the greatest. -2, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, exile it at the beginning of your next upkeep. That's fine. If you're getting that last little bit of damage in, to put a Borrower in play with haste, sure, free damage. -7, you get an emblem with whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. You know, basically the Terror of the Peaks showdown here, and I think this will go very well within a Vorinclex deck, but, you know, within this build, first we play the Fox. If we already have a Fox in play, we've got Luca, sure, then you play Luca, but don't play Luca first. The Fox is the main user here within the build. And then, of course, we've got Rowan and Will. They carry the same passive effect with instants and sorceries are 1 less to cast. However, +1, up to 1 target creature has base power and toughness of 0-2 until your next turn. -3, draw 2 cards. I love it. And -7, exile up to 5 target permanents with, you know, each one exiled this way, its controller creates a 4/4 elemental, which is great. We don't really use it in this deck at all, but you know, it's an option in other more control-like builds, in like an Esper Stacks or something. I guess it would be Izzet Stacks. But, you know, it's a good control card. And the same thing goes is I want to play Rowan first. And then if we get a second copy, then we can play Will, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then the Wandering Archaic has the one and only explore the vast lands for 3 mana, sorcery speed. Each player looks at the top 5 cards of their library, reveals a land and or instant or sorcery card from among them, puts that card, the cards they revealed this way into their hand, and the rest in the bottom of their library in random order. Reveals a land and or okay, so you get a land and an instant or sorcery, so that's great. And then we gain 3 life. So, you know, it's not what we're going for, but it is an option if we really do need to find our way into a counter or something, because I believe, oh no, that is sorcery speed, bummer, forget that. So that's the deck. It's pretty cool looking, and the main objective here is to get Rowan's ability off the emblem and to get Narset's emblem off, and we can protect them with the Crafty Companion, and, you know, basically forces our opponent to be dealing non-combat damage to them with spells, which is pretty cool. And, you know, that's why we've got the Disruption, that's why we've got Test of Talents to deal with any of those shenanigans, and replaying our Planeswalkers from the grave with Elspeth Conquers Death should be quite cool. I think potentially, you know, maybe you trim a Narset, but the consistency is really what it's about. I love Magma Opus. I love Shark Typhoon. I think they're both really good cards in the deck, but we will have to find out more as we continue to test play it. So this is the build, Jeskai Walkers. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did I miss anything that definitely needs to be added into the deck, or have I got all my bases covered here? If so, what's going on with Magma Opus in balance to Shark Typhoon? You know, like, is Magma Opus worth it? It could be. It's instant speed and should win you the game, but it's so expensive, yo. I like the discard through Narsets. Maybe the Shark Typhoon's better. That's what the discussion is all about. So let me know in the comments below how you feel about it. And again, thank you guys all for your time and attention. I really appreciate it. If you want to check out our free contest, giveaways, all that community shenanigans, that's available within the Linktree link description below, or Google Hello Good Game Linktree, and you'll find it. Of course, you can support financially if you want as well. There's many ways to do this. Whether you want some cool swag from Into the AM, you know, card, cosmetics, and game codes through Grey Viking Games, just the assistance through MTGA Assistant, you know, your day-to-day goods through Amazon as well, which is pretty cool. We've got a couple people doing that, and every little bit helps, and at the end of the day just improves the community and the quality of content as well. So thank you all so much. Woof! Have an amazing day. It's just a few more sleeps, and we get to go back to school, baby. I'm excited. Strixhaven is on the way. Let me know what you guys are most excited for as well. Cheers, enjoy another video on me, have a magical day, and we'll see you soon.